My concern is more data. Let me give you some data here. Here's what cost of living has looked like and how much it's improved in the last 20-something years. Look at these numbers that we have on the board here. So what we're looking at with this chart here is what things cost back in 1990 versus 2019. The first one is a 4-year college tuition. Back in 1990, roughly $30,000. Today, $102,000. That's more than 3x, by the way. Average home price in 1990, $101,000. Today, $294,000, 3 times more. Back in 1990, a gallon of gas, $1.12. Today, $2.50. Cost of raising a child back in 1990 from 0 to 18 years old, $120,000. Today, $250,000. Back in 1990, the average car cost $9,400. Today, $37,577. That's 4 times more. Now, all this is okay. It's totally fine that things are 3 times more expensive, as long as your salary is also 3 times higher. But back in 1990, the median income was $52,689. But today, $59,039. Let me get this straight. We went from $52,689 and some change to $59,000. That's a $7,000 raise in 29 years. $7,000 raise in 29 years. How are you supposed to keep up with everything when you got a wife and kids? How are you supposed to pay for your college tuition knowing these colleges are sitting on billions of dollars of cash and endowment? They're becoming businesses. How are you supposed to maintain your family? So this is why a lot of people are asking these are the real valid questions. What's the solution? This is why I said earlier, I said it's very important for you to create your wealth. There are 4 steps to creating wealth in America. Step number 1 is learning how to sell. Now watch this. Last year, the median pay for a sales manager in U.S. was roughly $130,000. That's $62 an hour, by the way. That's not bad for a sales manager. The second skill you got to learn to create wealth in America is you got to choose entrepreneurship. Look, it's either entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship. I'll explain both of them here to you. What is entrepreneurship? When I came to America, when we say the American dream, I know a lot of people like to sell the American dream as buying a home. To an immigrant, the American dream is the ability to make as much money you want to make, and the way you do it is either becoming an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody that starts a business. That's what America offers. The tax system benefits entrepreneurs. An intrapreneur is somebody that works within a company, but they think like an entrepreneur. Steve Ballmer never started Microsoft. He's worth $60 billion because he's an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur within Microsoft. They told him to run the company because he thinks like an entrepreneur. That is one of the biggest benefits America offers for those that want to create wealth. Step number 3 is choosing the right industry. Now, before I kind of give you the next chart about choosing the right industry and why it's such critical timing today, if you're watching this, you would agree that success of a business has a lot to do with timing, right? Watch this data here. Between 1946 and 1964, 76 million babies were born in America. They call these babies baby boomers, right? Now, why were these babies born right after 1946? Well, the war ends, husband comes back, hasn't seen a wife for the longest time. What's the first thing they're thinking about doing? They're thinking about having dinner, and right after dinner, guess what they're going to do? They're going to make babies. So when they started making babies, they called it the baby boomers. 76 million babies were born 18 years later. Now watch this. Say today's 1946. You and I are thinking about starting our own company together. Maybe we want to come out with a new product. We know you and I have that Back to the Future manual telling us in the next 18 years, 76 million babies are going to be born. If today's 1946 and we know in the next 18 years, 76 million babies are going to be born, what are some products we would come out with in 1946 that babies need? Think about it. Actually think about it. 1946, what did they need? When do you think Mattel came out? Gerber came out. When do you think Barbie came out? Barbie came out in 1959. I think Ken was 3 years later, by the way. Ken's always late, but he came up 3 years later because babies wanted baby food. They wanted toys. They wanted Barbie. We even had Barbie in Iran. 1946, timing. Go to 50s. These kids are now 5, 6, 7 years old. What do kids start attending at that age? School. America doesn't have a lot of schools. What do we have to do? Build schools. What's the best industry? Construction. Did you know nearly 50% of all public schools in America were built between 1950 to 1969 simply because of boomers? Now go to the 60s. In the 60s, these boomers are not turning 16 years old. They start getting their license. What's the first thing on their mind? Driving. What kind of a car do they want? They want a sports car. What cars came out in 64? You probably said Mustang, right? All the major American sports cars. Why? Because boomers wanted a car. Go to 70s, 80s. These boomers start turning 30 years old. Wife looks at the husband and says, babe, I'm sick and tired of renting. Let's buy a house. What industry took off? Real estate. Today, these boomers are no longer babies. They're in their 60s, and guess what they're thinking about? Retirement. And the first thing they're thinking about with retirement is how to protect what they worked hard for 40 years. They don't want to have another 2008 to lose 38%. They don't want to have a 39% in 1 month. They're thinking about their retirement. This is one of the reasons why our industry today, the insurance and the financial industry today, is booming, because there's more demand today than ever before, simply to help the boomers. Now, you may be watching the same, Pat, but I'm not a boomer. Let's talk about all the different generations. We have 4 generations that we're going to talk about here outside of the boomers. Okay, first one is Gen Zs. Gen Zs are officially the largest generation that we have here. There are 86 million people from 1997 to 2010. Then you got the millennials, 72 million of them, 81 to 96. Then you have Gen X from 1965 to 1980, roughly 66 million. Then you have boomers, 76 million. Then you have seniors. Each of these generations have a different problem they're facing. Let's start off with millennials. Millennials, the challenge they're facing is a couple things here. Most millennials and Gen Xs don't have their finances in order today. Why? Here's why. Boomers and seniors, back in the days, we used to do door knocking. Somebody would come and knock on your door, and they would say, yes, what can I help you with? Hi, I'm Bob. I'd like to talk to you about your retirement plan. I'd like to talk to you about insurance. Oh, Bob, not right now. Maybe next week. No problem, I'll come back next week. I'm Bob, I'm back. You told me to come back next week, I'm here. You know what, we got some friends over. Next week would be better. You're thinking Bob's not going to show up. Bob comes next week, what do? You feel guilty, you let him in. Bob comes inside, he sits you down at the kitchen table with you and your wife and says, Mary, have you guys thought about retirement? We have. Oh, Mary, what would you do right now if God forbid something were to happen to Bob? You would ask a question like that in front of my wife? Bob, it's just a question. Mary says, honestly, we've been thinking about it, babe. We need an insurance policy. You're the breadwinner, you make the money, I don't work, I stay home with these 2 kids. What are we going to do? Are you kidding me, babe? We're going to do this right now? Babe, we need an insurance policy. Bob and Mary bought an insurance policy. Then Bob popped the next question. How much would you like to retire when you're 65? Oh, we wouldn't mind having $4,000 a month income. Do you think you're on track? Absolutely not. Okay, what would you like to retire with? $4,000. Well, what are we doing right now? Nothing. What if I can show you a way to do that? What if you set aside $200, $300 a month? Bob may be upset. Mary may be happy. 20 years later, they are both thankful for the person that knocked on the door. Today, there is none of this. Back in the days, there was cold calling. November of 2003, you know what came out? Do not call list. They can't call today because it's a fine. That's why millennials and Gen Xers are not getting the calls that boomers and seniors used to get. So what do? If a friend or family doesn't talk to you about your finances, and you're not making the kind of money to qualify the call from a Morgan Stanley, Merrill, Goldman, Smith, Barney, no one's going to be calling you. So if you don't figure out a way to get your finances in order, nobody else is going to be doing it for you. Boomers, you obviously know where they're at, and seniors, you obviously know where they're at. So the demand for what we're doing today, we're not talking about 10 million people. We're not talking about 50 million people. We're talking about 200 million people that need help in this industry, and it's one of the reasons why I paid attention to this industry. There's a lot of great industries, real estate, pharmaceutical sales, technology, but everybody wants to go there. Nobody was looking at insurance and retirement. I said, this is the direction I'm going. That's why number 3 is choosing the right industry. Now let's talk about number 4, choosing the right platform. Now what do I mean by choosing the right platform? So we talk about sales, we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about industry. Now it's about who you're going to team up with and why. There's a lot of different color jerseys. You made a decision to be a basketball player. You're going into the NBA. Who do you want to play for? You chose to be a baseball player. Who do you want to play for? You chose to be an engineer. Who do you want to work for? You're choosing to want to get into the insurance financial industry. Which platform do you choose? Let me share with you guys why we're very confident about the platform we offer. Now keep this in mind. We have a lot of competitors. I have a lot of respect for all of them because we talk to each other, we know each other, and everybody has a different kind of a proposition. But this is ours. Currently today, in the industry, this is how we differ from the industry. The average agent in the insurance industry is a 59-year-old white male. In PHP, the average agent is a 35-year-old Latina woman. When you come to our convention, nobody understands that this is the financial industry. So now the industry, Boring, low energy office environment, PHP. Captivating, high energy environment. Industry, old school marketing tactics, PHP. Innovative marketing tactics. Industry, quotas, PHP, no quotas. Industry, vesting takes 2 to 10 years. PHP, you come here within 12 months, you're pretty much vested, meaning whatever the policy pays renewals, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you're going to get paid on that policy as long as you're with us for 12 months and become a field associate. Industry, build only the company's brand. In PHP, we teach you how to build your own brand. You will see many of our leaders have their own brand, whether it's Money Smart Guy, whether it's Latino Hustle. I mean, we can go on and talk about many of the personalities that we have in the company that are creating their own social media brand. It's what you need to do today because there's 2 brands today. Company's brand, your brand. We like to encourage you to build your own brand. We have strategies how to do it. If you're part of our company, we would simply share that with you. Industry, promote through politics, PHP, promote through performance. You perform, no one cares what your background is, whether you have a degree, whether you went to Harvard, Yale, or you went to community college. You're 60 years old, you're 25 years old. No one cares. If you work, you hit the guidelines, you get promoted. Now, a couple things to keep in mind with us. A lot of people, when they look at us, if you're within the company, they'll say, I've never seen technology like this before. I've not seen speed like this before. We have our own communication platform. We have our own app. We have our own technology. And we recently decided to invest millions of dollars in our new app and technology that's coming out that's going to revolutionize the entire industry. So when you look at our platform and the technology that we offer, it's second to none. We make a lot of investments into that side. The other part that you get if you work with the company is our support system from home office. I mean, just call them and see how they'll talk to you. They love hearing from the field. The entire focus is what they can do to make the business easier for those that are deciding to become agents with the company. As far as insurance carriers goes, we work with some of the most prestigious insurance companies out there, whether it's NLG, AIG, Anaco, Mutual of Omaha, Fidelity and Guarantee, America, Columbus Life, Global Atlantic. I got a list of names that I can give you company-wise. We work with some of the largest and most reputable AAA-rated insurance companies out there. So obviously, those are some of the insurance companies that we work with. And if you want to find out how we get paid as far as our comp goes, the marketplace calls our comp the sexiest comp plan in the insurance industry. If you want to find out more about it, the video is right here. Ask the person who shared this video with you. They'll give you the comp video if you want to know more about the comp. Now, as far as what we do as a company, the culture, it's a very different culture. I told you earlier, Sports Center-esque, competitive type of an environment that we have. We go all over the world. We've taken our guys to Dubai and we put them at 7-star hotels in Dubai. We've been to Croatia. We've been to Greece. We've been to Italy. We've been to Tuscany. We've been to all the islands in the Caribbean. We've been to Hawaii. We've been to Cancun. I forget, Aspen. We've been all over. I mean, if I tell you right now, I literally forget about the places we've been to because we've been so many different places. And every time people say, we want to go to this place, we want to go to this place, we've given away cars, we've given away 1984 Olympic torches, we've given away anything that our guys are interested in to want to compete for. We've given away chairs out of the Yankee Stadium because somebody wanted a chair out of a Yankee Stadium. We've given away 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie cards. We've had people go meet the late Kobe Bryant, take pictures with him and get his autograph. We've had people sit down with President Bush and we do a lot of different kind of creative things when it comes down to having fun. That's just a glimpse of some of the fun that we have. Now, as far as the leaders goes in the company, we have a lot of great leaders in the company, from Sheena Matsapalo, who've been with us, I want to say, for 4 years or 5.5 years. They've made $5 million in the last 5.5 something years. Jose Marlene Gaitan, who are 7-figure earners. Hector Neric, who are 7-figure earners. Then you got Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas, who are about to cross 7 figures. They're at $800,000-$900,000. Ricky and Erica, who went from $0 to $750,000 income in 3 years. Then you have George Palai, who's about to cross $750,000 a year income. Jason and Natalie Graziani, they're about to cross $600,000 income annually. You got Marvin and Dee Del Valle from New York. They moved to Orlando, Florida. They became chairman's councils in Orlando, doing great things. They're about to cross $500,000 income. John Mason about to cross $500,000 income. Alejandro Aguilar, he and his wife out of Bakersfield, making over $500,000 a year income. Chris and Mary Phelps out of San Diego, nearly $500,000. I mean, I can give you a lot of different stories on what's going on with the company right now. That's just to give you a glimpse of what's taking place. Simply because years ago I made a decision to chase my dreams, like I shared with you earlier, that a lot of people stop. And it messes with us. And we eventually think we just have to live this normal life. But you don't have to. So again, the bad news is we're probably going to have another crisis take place in the next 10 years. And we're probably going to have most people not be prepared for it. And we're probably going to have millions of people that will be forced to do certain things they don't want to do. The only challenge and request I have for you is to not wait to be forced to make the right choices. My challenge to you is to choose to be prepared now, so the next time around, economy comes back around, you're making money, you're saving money, you're making the right investments. So for the rest of your life, you never have to panic about another major event that sets you back 4 years, just like many people are being set back because of what takes place with the economy. Having said that, I can't wait to personally meet you one of these days. My suggestion to you is to get back with the person that shared this video with you. Ask them for the comp plan video if you want to find out more about how we get paid. And then hopefully one of these days I will see you at a big event. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.